Good morning, everyone. Today we find ourselves in the city of Maceió, the capital of the state of Alagoas. Known for its breathtaking beaches, which is turquoise waters, Maceió is a city that is beloved nationwide and maybe even internationally by many tourists. However, just a few kilometers away, we see a different kind of reality. This is a place most tourists are never going to visit or even hear of. It is the site of one of Brazil's biggest environmental disasters that ever happened. It is a place marked by loss and silence, and a deep wound left open by greed and corruption. In 1976, a company called Saugema Chemical Industry started mining rock salt by injecting water into underground salt layers and extracting the resulting brine. In the 80s and 90s, the number of salt wells surged dramatically, with little thought given to the safety to the people living above them. Those wells were dug deep beneath the heart of neighborhoods like Pinheiro, Mutange and Bebedouro, where families built their homes and lives. Despite scientists raising alarms and warning of the catastrophic consequences, their voices were silenced in the interest of profit. Eventually, the company that had begun the mining was sold to Braskem, Brazil's largest petrochemical giant. With new ownership came a drive to expand and scale operations. Yet the dangerous mining practices remained unchanged. Despite growing concerns from the local community, the operations continued, largely unchecked and hidden from the public eye, prioritizing growth over the safety and well-being of the people. As we walk through the streets, we see a lot of abandoned houses. Here we can see inside which was probably once a nice garden. Many homes have already been demolished, but there are still few standing here. Starting in 2010, geologists and researchers from the Federal University of Alagoas sounded the alarm, warning about the looming danger of ground instability caused by vast, unreinforced cavities deep beneath the city. Despite these desperate warnings, Braskem carried on with its mining operations, neglecting to implement any meaningful safety measures of monitoring. This was probably once a really nice house. Now overgrown by vegetation. Everything the former residents could take, they took. Just the rest remains. Are we going to have a deeper look inside? Let's do it. Who knows what happened here? Really calm, this area here. Just standing here, you would never imagine what happened. Let's get out of here and find something else. This is maybe already a neighboring house. Everything abandoned. In 2018, the first heartbreaking signs of devastation began to show. Cracks, sinkholes and structural damage tore through the Pinheiro neighborhood, where families once felt safe. Initial investigations tried to blame nature, but as the truth slowly emerged, geological studies revealed the horrific reality. It was Braskem's mining activities that had set the stage for this tragedy, leaving destruction in its wake. It took another year for Brazil's Geological Survey to release a report confirming that rock salt mining caused the subsidence. Mining operations were gradually halted and wells decommissioned. All this area is fenced off here, but nobody enters. That must have been an old church over there. Let's have a look. Here, no one will ever pray again. It's over, and it's just a matter of time until it's getting demolished, along with all the other buildings that are still standing in this street. You can see a lot of these signs around here. They show you in case the ground becomes unstable again, that's the way to flee back to the avenue. The mayor of Maceió has declared this place to be forbidden to enter. And if you try otherwise, it's a crime. Stay away from it. To continue our story. After the survey was published, the federal government was forced to declare a state of public calamity in Maceió, opening the door for much needed aid, financial and technical aid. Braskem in response was cornered into signing a legal agreement with federal and state authorities to evacuate the at-risk areas and provide some form of compensation to the thousands of families torn from their homes. In case you were wondering why all the sidewalks look broken like this, no, it's not because of the unstable ground. It's just normal in Brazil. An electrical substation of the local electricity provider. Does it still work? Let's have a look. Oh no, it's also forbidden to enter here. Why is the gate open then? Look at this. This was once providing power for the whole neighborhood. I really would like to get further into the neighborhood, but as you can see, everything is sealed off. Even the roads are blocked. There's no way to get through. Over 60,000 people had their lives uprooted as entire neighborhoods. Schools, churches, hospitals were damaged or evacuated. The heartache was indescribable. Right here we see another church that is soon going to be demolished. Everything is blocked off here. There's no way to enter. But we are going to find a way around it. This big apartment building is still standing. But for how long? Everybody who lived there is already long gone. In 2020, Braskem began injecting sand and other materials into the wells in a desperate attempt to stabilize the situation. But despite these efforts, many wells remain dangerously unstable to this day, still threatening collapse. Is this still demolition or already part of rebuilding efforts? Who knows? 2 more apartment buildings to be seen in the distance, soon to be demolished as well. This in front here, this was a kindergarten. Many happy kids were playing here, but they could never return. As recently as December last year, an inactive mine partially collapsed. A chilling reminder of the lingering danger that continues to haunt the city. Yet, despite all the destruction, the displaced residents have not been fully compensated for their losses. Those responsible for this catastrophe have been investigated and indicted, but justice remains painfully out of reach, with no convictions to hold anyone accountable for the immense suffering caused. Who paid for walling off all of those residences? Maybe the owners themselves. Maybe they thought they would return one day, but that's not going to happen. There's no mail ever arriving here again. We are now very close to Braskem's installations and operations. Are they still active here? I don't know. And they probably will not be so friendly if I'm going to ask them about it. So far, the official version of the events. But for the people who lived through it, those who called these neighborhoods home, the story feels very different. They were stunned. These were areas they were told were too dangerous to live in, where the ground itself was supposedly unstable. Yet, not long ago, after residents were forced to leave, massive machinery rolled in. Entire blocks of standing homes were flattened. It all felt too coordinated, too deliberate. Many began to suspect what they now speak of openly, that Braskem, the company who now took ownership of all those vast areas of land, exaggerated the risks to force people out of their homes. Yes, you're right, those are train tracks. Just before the environmental disaster, there was a train transporting people from the suburbs to the center. Now all of this is gone. Some residents didn't want to leave. They fought to stay in their homes. They had built lives in the places where their children had grown up. But even they were removed, escorted out by government agents, sometimes against their will. Oh, some stairs. Where are they leading us to? Wow. Now in Pinheiro, the neighborhood hardest hit, the last echoes of community are fading. Nearly all traces of family homes and residential buildings are gone. And with each passing day, the whispers grow louder. People believe that in a few years, once the dust has settled and memories have dulled, that Braskem will declare the land stable again. They will publish studies to back it up, and developers will move in. Shiny new apartment complexes will rise where homes once stood, and the profits will flow to those who orchestrated it all. A whole row of houses abandoned, completely empty, any remains of life. To the people who live here, it feels like theft. Their homes were taken under the pretense of danger, and the compensation they received, if any at all, was often far below what their properties were truly worth. Having a rest here on this abandoned square, nobody is ever going to sit here again. Not a church was going to be demolished. Playground in the back. No child is ever going to play there again. All these places here are soon completely gone. They will completely vanish, as if they had never existed before.
O impacto lá impactou aqui também.
Também, no mesmo tempo?
No mesmo tempo. Tipo assim, quando foi impactado lá, que deu tremor,
Sim.
a população ficou amedrontada.
Sim.
Né? E houve rachaduras até ali em Bebedouro, que era o centro comercial que a gente desfrutava aqui, que dependia da população. E quando a CPRM veio fazer o trabalho geológico, detectou que toda essa área também tinha sido impactada. Quer dizer, desde 2022 não era para ter ninguém mais aqui. Eles esconderam uma nota técnica que condenou só até aquela metade, onde você viu lá, e o restante ficou aqui invulnerável. Quer dizer, cada dia mais pior. As casas hoje estão rachando, não temos mais estabilidade econômica no bairro, nossos imóveis não têm nenhum valor.
Sim.
E aí foi o impacto maior, porque quem saiu de lá recebeu e está vivendo sua vida em outro local. E nós que estamos aqui, que estamos sem o valor do nosso patrimônio, estamos se humilhando diante da justiça, que não dá valor ao nosso direito e à nossa razão, para querer uma realocação com a indenização justa para decidir a nossa vida como a gente quer viver. E hoje eles propagam uma revitalização que não tem sentido para a gente, e até agora só tem trazido trauma psicológico. A comunidade não dorme mais bem, não vive mais bem. Futuro, se a gente permanecer aqui, vai ser fracasso. O futuro que a gente quer viver na nossa vida amanhã é que a justiça reconheça que a Braskem é criminosa. Temos uma vizinha aqui que tirou a própria vida. Ela deu veneno à filha dela, deu veneno no gatinho e se suicidou e deixou uma carta criminalizando a Braskem. Nós tínhamos 8 colégios, 15 igrejas na redondeza, um posto de saúde, um mercado público, 4 açougues, um supermercado. E tudo isso foi tirado de repente.
Sim.
Eu posso dizer, de 100% que se tiraram, não devolveram nem 5%.
So, what's the deeper issue here? In Brazil, corporate environmental crimes rarely lead to long-term punishment. Braskem's owners, including Odebrecht and Petrobras, are powerful entities with deep legal resources. Over time, institutional memory fades. Companies rebrand or spin-off assets and distance themselves from legal accountability. So what's the bottom line? Was this whole thing intentionally engineered to profit from the disaster? No verifiable proof suggests that. Did Braskem act with reckless disregard and potentially benefited from the situation? Most likely.